Well, hello there. Welcome to Story Time with Loretta Davis. Well, we're going to talk about forgiveness today. Yay! You know, this is a great time to talk about forgiveness during the Christmas season because sometimes people are going to family dinners and they dread going to some of them because someone may have hurt them and they don't want to actually see them, or they get on their nerves or whatever, and they still got that unforgiveness in their heart. Well, I'm going to share you my story about how God taught me how to forgive God's way. Well, years ago, I actually had this confrontation with one of my friends, and we never really settled it, and we went on with our lives. And eventually she moved away, and we didn't talk for about over 2 years. And I remember one day, just in my apartment, I was just cleaning it, and the Lord spoke to me. He said, "I want you to call her and ask her to forgive you for hurting her." And I was like, "Well, Lord, I didn't do her anything." He said, "Well, I want you to forgive my way, and it's going to release you, and it's going to release her." So he said, and true forgiveness does not justify, and it does not explain. It just simply forgives. And he reminded me, when he was on the cross, he just said, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." He forgave us. He gave us forgiveness before he actually died. He made sure that we were forgiven for what we had done to him. And so I made the choice to call, and I said, "I want to ask you to forgive me for hurting you." But that one little voice on my shoulder was like, "Well, when did you hurt her? Explain it." But I ignored that, and I just obeyed God. And as soon as we got off the phone, it was like an exhale, like, and the Lord said, "You released." And then 4 o'clock that morning, she calls me and she said, "Loretta, I need deliverance. I need you to pray for me." So we prayed, and God delivered her. Now, that's true forgiveness when we do it God's way. Because sometimes our way, we say we want it to be conditional, meaning we want them to earn our forgiveness, or sometimes we want them to suffer. But God never intended for us to do it that way. He said in Matthew 6:14 and 15, he said, "If you don't forgive your brother, he won't forgive you." So, you may say, well, or your sister, he said, you may say, "Well, what if they deceased?" Okay, let's do this. Get a chair and act like they're sitting in that chair. Go over to them and call their name out and say, "I forgive you for fill in the blank, and I release that. I release you, and I release the offense, and let it go." And watch what God does. Maybe sometime you have to do it more than one time, but you have to do it seriously from your heart, and watch God move in a miraculous way. But if you don't, the Lord said he won't forgive you, and you don't want to be like that servant in the Bible that owed his Lord some money, and the Lord forgave him of, one translation say it was $12 million, but he went out and found someone that owed him, and he wanted to take him by the throat. And sometimes we want to do that, but his Lord even forgave him of the debt, and he told him he was forgiven. But just read Matthew the 18th chapter, and you'll see what happened to a person that don't want to forgive, or don't let go the attitude of it. Because some people may say, "Well, I'll forgive him, but he got to pay me the money back." That's an attitude. And forgiveness is letting a change in your feelings and your attitude, and let God be the avenger. So I wanted to share that story with you, because you may dread going to the family Christmas dinner because so and so is there that you can't actually stand. But now you know how to extend true forgiveness, and just do it God's way. Don't justify it and don't explain it. Just simply forgive. So that's my story, and I wanted to share my story with you. And until next time, join me with Story Time with Loretta Davis, and Merry Christmas. God bless you.